Hello, everyone. I think we've got some folks kind of popping in and joining us. I'm going to give everybody just another minute or two to see if they want to pop in, and then we will go ahead and get started, okay? So I appreciate you coming. Just give us a minute or two and we'll get started. And hopefully you guys are seeing the right screen. There should be a Central Carolina Promise K14 slide up on your screen. So everyone, if you've got access to the chat, if you want to go ahead and just give me a yes if you're seeing that. I want to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing and that we're getting you all the right information this evening. Or unmute. Beautiful. Yeses. Thank you. Appreciate that. And I got a thumbs up too. Good deal. All right, we will go ahead and get started then. If we have folks that pop in late, that's not a problem. We are recording this session just so that everybody's aware. I want to have it available for our students afterwards if folks couldn't make it this evening or whatever have you. But basically, we're just going to go through. It's not a long slideshow. Just going to give you a little bit of information about the program this evening. So I'm very grateful for everyone logging in. We really appreciate that. My name is Mary Schmid-Carter. I am the College Access Coordinator here at CCCC. What that means is that I am basically a one-woman show for the Central Carolina Promise program. So at any point, if you have questions about the program, I am definitely the person to reach out to, and I will provide all of my contact information at the end. I've been with CCCC since August of 2016, and I've been in this role as the program coordinator for about a year and a half. So I really love what I do. I enjoy working with the students. I'm very passionate about the program. So I'm very grateful to all of you for joining us this evening. All right, all we're going to do, as I said, real brief overview. I will leave time at the end for questions. If you have questions along the way, you're more than welcome to pop those in the chat box. I'm trying to present and monitor, so we're going to test my multitasking skills this evening, but please feel free to do that. And if I don't catch a question during the session, I will make sure to check the chat box at the end and we'll go back through any questions that you might have. All right, so what I'd like to do is start by reviewing some program definitions. We have two programs that are very similarly named, and it does provide a little bit of confusion sometimes with our students. So I want to make sure that we're clear on that right from the beginning. So what is the Career and College Promise program? Career and College Promise, it offers structured opportunities for qualified high school students to take free community college classes, basically. So this is something, if you all are currently seniors, hopefully this is something that you're aware of right now at your high school and you're taking these classes. They're designed to be either general education or career and technical education, but it's just a way to get students a little bit of that early access to college level coursework for free. This is a statewide program, so all 58 of the community colleges in North Carolina offer Career and College Promise. Now, the difference between that and the Central Carolina Promise program is that the Central Carolina Promise is an additional 2 years of tuition-free courses after you graduate from high school. Sometimes you'll hear this referred to as the Chatham County Promise, Harnett County Promise, Lee County Promise. They all fall under the umbrella of the Central Carolina Promise. And basically, this is an opportunity for us to provide funding for students through the 14th grade. So you will hear me refer to it sometimes as K14. We want to ensure that students have access to education from kindergarten through the 14th grade, which is typically an associate's degree. So that's kind of where that terminology comes from. So Career and College Promise, current high school students. And then the Central Carolina Promise program is for recent high school graduates. So again, hopefully those folks that are joining us this evening are currently seniors getting ready to graduate and thinking of staying at CCCC for the fall. Career and College Promise, hopefully you've been taking classes during high school through CCP. Central Carolina Promise or K14 would be an option for you moving forward. We are mostly focusing this evening on K14, not so much CCP, but certainly if you have questions, we do have assigned advisors that work with our CCP students. There's somebody embedded at all of our local high schools throughout our service area. We've even got an advisor that works with students outside the service area. I work with our local homeschool families. So we definitely have the personnel available at the college that focus on CCP. So if you're interested, I'm happy to connect you with them after the presentation this evening. Okay, so our entry eligibility requirements. These are some things that we're looking for to make sure that the student kind of is going to be in the pool of, eligible options to enter into the program. We do require that students in the program reside in either Chatham, Harnett, or Lee County. That is our service area for Central Carolina Community College. We serve all 3 counties. And the reason that we require students in the program to be residents is that this is a tax-funded program. The county commissioners in each county have been so incredibly generous to support the program. They're investing in our students and the future of our local communities. But we do require that students are actually a resident of the county to qualify. The next piece is that we are looking for students who have already participated in those career and college promise classes while in high school. We are looking for students that have completed either 12 credits or 4 classes of college coursework so far. Most of the time that is through career and college promise at their high school. Occasionally we have students who perhaps have AP or IB credit, and those are students that I can work with sort of on a one, case-by-case basis. But we are looking for students who have that demonstrated readiness and preparedness for college coursework. The other thing is we do need students obviously to be a high school graduate, whether you're coming from a public school, private school, homeschool, any other type of high school program, as long as it is a North Carolina high school, you will be eligible for the program. And we do need you to enroll at CCCC in a fairly timely manner. There's a 2-year eligibility window for the program. Sometimes we have students who take a semester off, or they maybe go somewhere else and come back to us. We are happy to work with you, but just know that that 2-year window is pretty settled. So we hope that you'll graduate and come straight to us. We also do require that students exhaust any other type of funding sources first. The K14 program is a last dollar program, and I'll talk a little bit more about what that means in a minute, but it basically ensures that if you're somebody who doesn't qualify for Pell funding or other scholarships, we will come in and kind of cover that gap for you. Students who are accepted do have a couple requirements as they transition from the first year to the second year of the program. Very simple things. It's just sort of an annual renewal on a couple things. So we would go over that a year from now when that time comes. And again, if y'all think of anything, if you have questions, feel free to pop those in the chat. I am keeping half an eye on it. I also know I'm going a little bit fast. All of this information is available on our website. So if you need to go back and review any of it or reach out to me, you're more than welcome to do that. This is the link to our website right here, this www.cccc.edu/promise. And these are going to look like a lot of steps, but I promise that it's very easy to navigate. And if not, that's what I'm here for. My entire job is to support you, help you, walk you through these steps. You'll get a lot of emails from me. So we are here to help. We don't expect you to navigate all of this by yourself. The very, very first thing that I am hoping students will do if they're interested in this program, and some of you that are here with us tonight may have already done this. If not, don't worry, but if you did, that's great. We appreciate it. There is an interest form that we ask the students to fill out, basically to get on my radar. I want to know who you are. I want to know that you're interested in the program. I want to be able to reach out to you and say, hey, Bobby, we're missing step 3. Let me help you with that. So the interest form is really what gets the ball rolling, gets you just, interested in the program, lets me know so that I can help you the rest of the way. The second step is to go ahead and submit your CCCC Foundation Scholarship application. I can tell you this is now online. This used to be a totally paper application. We're really excited that it is a web form now because I think it's a lot easier for students to access. And the nice thing is this is an internal scholarship opportunity. By submitting one application, you will then be considered for multiple awards. So you'll apply, you'll say, I'm interested in welding or nursing or my associate degree in, university transfer. I'm planning on going ahead to a four-year university eventually. Our foundation committee will look at you as a student and try to match you with one of those multiple awards. So instead of you having to fill out 50 different applications, you're applying one time for maybe 50 different awards at CCCC. So that is a requirement. There's a web form, very, demographic information, name, date of birth, that kind of thing. There is a brief essay, and then there is also a required letter of recommendation. That can come from almost anywhere. You can ask a teacher, a coach, a neighbor, a boss. The only thing we ask is that the person writing the recommendation is not related to you. That's really the only rule, the only no-no at that point. And again, if you get stuck and you need help with that letter, we will help you figure that out. That's not a problem. The next piece, and I will say, if you do nothing else, if you are intending to go to college, you're currently a senior, we really hope CCCC is the place for you. But even if it's not, always do your FAFSA. Always, 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 always do your FAFSA. We are learning students who complete the FAFSA are more likely to stay in college, complete a degree. And even if you think you may not qualify for aid through the FAFSA, a lot of scholarships and other funding opportunities like our K14 program require that you have at least completed the FAFSA, that you've at least made the attempt, basically. So no matter what, FAFSA is really, really crucial. And that is something that will be, it'll be a renewal every year that you're in college. Next, this is sort of a part two. It's not enough just to submit your FAFSA. Eventually, the college will review everything that we receive from the student. Sometimes we have everything we need, we check the box, good to go, but occasionally there are some follow-up documents that are required from the financial aid office. So there may be sort of a part two, a little bit to the FAFSA, so just be aware of that. And we're going to talk more about communication, but it is really critical that you check your email, both personal email, and you also should have a Cougar mail through the college. Those are ways that we reach out to students and communicate what's needed. So just, keep in mind that that's something you're going to want to check even throughout the summer. I know you're all probably very excited already to be on break after you graduate. We really don't want to bite into too much of that time, but we do want you to be aware of things that the college might be needing from you. All right. The North Carolina residency determination process is something that's required of every student in North Carolina if they're enrolling in college. This will tell us whether you will be eligible for the in-state rate or the out-of-state rate as a student. Most of the time, students do not have any issue getting qualified as an in-state student. If you're marked as out of state and you feel that there's an error, we can certainly, point you in the right direction to speak with someone about getting that fixed. Occasionally we have military families, or we even have somebody who maybe just clicks the wrong button somewhere and is coded as an out-of-state resident. Out-of-state students can qualify for K14. The only thing is that we will only pay the in-state rate. So if your out-of-state bill was $1,500, we might be able to cover 500 of that, just as an example off the top of my head. But again, if you get stuck, let me know, and I will try to connect you to the right folks to get that squared away. The other thing that trips up some of our students, and I know that this seems a little counterintuitive sometimes, but we do need students to reapply to the college for the fall. So you are currently, most of you, I think probably are currently students here. If you're already taking those career and college promise program classes, the way that I like to explain it is that as you get ready to graduate, we sort of deactivate your account. It doesn't disappear, it doesn't go away, it just sort of deactivates temporarily. And so we do need the students to reapply for the fall so that we know that you are no longer part of CCP and that you're going to attend as a freshman student. So again, I will just badger you if we don't have that. I'll say, hey, Bobby, don't forget, click here, do this. So that is a piece that we'll need, though, is that new application for the fall that also helps us put you in your full-time curriculum program. And then last but not least, we do need students to submit their final official high school transcript. This will not be available until after you graduate, mid-June-ish. So just know that if you submit a transcript prior to that, it will be considered unofficial. That's great. We're happy to have it, but we do need that official transcript once you have graduated. Sorry, checking my notes, make sure I didn't miss anything. So 7 steps, I realize can seem daunting, can seem like a lot. However, most of this is things that students should be doing to enroll in college, no matter where they go. So really one of the only things that's unique to K14 is that interest form. But a lot of the rest of these steps you would be doing whether you're coming to CCCC or anywhere else, really. So important dates, and I'm keeping an eye. I don't see too many questions yet, so I will keep checking there. We have what we consider to be priority deadlines. They are not hard and fast deadlines, but they are priority deadlines because we want to encourage students to have things in on time to ensure that everything's where it needs to be in time for classes to start, if that makes sense. There's a little bit of program processing that happens on my end. Sometimes we have 400 students that are applying for the program. It's me that's reviewing all of that. And again, I love that, but it's not something that can be done in 10 minutes. So there's a little bit of processing time on my end that these deadlines help with. Also, sometimes if I have to reach out to a student and say, hey, we need some follow-up, we want to make sure that you have time to submit that successfully. It may not be something that you can turn in tomorrow, especially financial aid wise. Sometimes there's a timeline attached. So by Friday, July 1st, what we are looking for is your interest form. Hopefully that will be done sooner. Again, I think of our group tonight, I already see a couple of familiar names, so hopefully you guys are working on that already. But the interest form, the scholarship application, and then your initial FAFSA submission, that is the priority deadline, is July 1st. Then about 3 weeks later, we're looking for the other items, such as your admissions application, your final high school transcript, and then financial aid. This is where it can get tricky. I said, if they need additional documents, we want you to have that 3-week buffer to make sure that we can get everything turned in and settled and kind of wrapped up in time. Now, if you do not meet the priority deadlines, it's not the end of the world by any means. We will very gladly still work with you. Just know that it means that I may not have that funding in place for you on the first day of class. So we have had students who had to maybe make a payment, either set up a payment plan and pay a partial amount or pay the full amount up front. We have been able to reimburse them once they get the rest of their items in, but I know that that can be a little bit prohibitive for some students to have anything due up front. So my promise to you is that if you are meeting these priority deadlines, I promise that I will have my ducks in a row and our processes done to make sure that you are ready to go on the first day of class. So hopefully that is a give and take that makes sense. Okay, I see a question. I will get to that in just a minute. Thank you. I appreciate when you guys check in. But hopefully this makes sense with priority deadlines. So as an aside, it is March. I have some students that I'm still working with that did not have things turned in last July. So there really isn't a point in time that it's too late. It just means that those students have had to, again, put money up front, in that time. So but we're still working with them and we are very happy to do that. So just for those of you, if you're like me and you like to see the dollars and cents of things, CCCC, our spring tuition rate right now is $76 per credit hour. Most of our classes are 3 credit hours, so that's a little over $200 per class typically. And that is again the in-state rate for tuition. Our fees rate this spring is $45 per student, and the technology fees can vary by course. It largely depends on whether you have an online class or something face-to-face, but just again, very ballpark figure. So if you were a student taking a full-time course load at CCCC this spring, that would be a minimum of 12 credit hours. It's usually 4 classes. That cost would be a little over $950 this semester that we would save you as the student. That is a cost that you would not have to pay. I will note, and I think I wrote it somewhere and forgot to mention it, the only cost that we cannot cover through K14 is textbooks. If you receive Pell funding or other scholarships, sometimes that cost exceeds, or that award exceeds what you owe, and sometimes that money can be used towards books. If you are fully using K14 funding, we will cover the tuition and the in-state tuition and the student fees. We, at this time, do not have funding to cover textbooks. So that is typically the only cost that a student might experience, is a textbook or some other type of supplemental material for their course. And then just as a comparison, you're looking at a little under $1,000 here at CCCC would cover everything. I got on NC State's website. Their tuition alone at NC State this spring is a little over $9,000. And the full estimated cost of attendance is over $25,000. That is not to knock NC State. They are a phenomenal institution, incredible educational opportunities. We're very lucky to have them right up the road. But what we can offer to our students here at CCCC during those first 2 years, I think is incredibly comprehensive and very comparable to that education. If you're taking a freshman level psychology course here, it is largely the same content as what you would get at NC State, with the added bonus of smaller class sizes and really accessible faculty. So if NC State is your goal, that is awesome. We want to help you get there. But if we can save you some money along the way, we really want to be able to do that. I think that what we can offer as a community college is really incredible. I think sometimes we're overlooked, and we're really excited. I think the tide is starting to turn and we're finding more students who are seeing the value in what we do here. And I love being a part of that. And we'd like for you to be a part of it too. So hopefully all of that makes sense. I am going to open things up for questions. And then as I do that, I'm also going to leave my contact information up on your screen. My office phone number is there. I can also get text messages and calls through Google Voice. We do have a program email address. And then again, our website is there. So one thing that I would like to ask you while you're ruminating on your questions, I wanted to see, we've got about 10 people that joined us this evening, which is great. I'm really happy to see that. If you get a chance, and if you could just pop in the chat box or even unmute if you want, I'm just curious to see how folks found out about the session tonight. I know we sent a letter home. I've sent a couple of messages through a VSO. It's on our website. So if you get a chance, just let me know. We're always learning and looking for ways to make sure that we're reaching out to students. So if you want to let me know how you heard about our session this evening, that would be great. We do also have additional sessions tomorrow night and Thursday. So if you know somebody who missed the session tonight, or if you really just had a blast and you want to come back again, we will be here and we would be happy to have you again. So, okay, let's see. We had a question about the FAFSA and some possible questions, kind of a unique situation. So Miss Jacqueline, if you would like to email me, or if you want to hang around at the end, I want to answer that for you, but I want to make sure I kind of understand what your question is. So, all right, I'm seeing emails, letters sent home. Good, so about 50-50 so far. Some of you got the letter. I think that was new this year. We had kind of a fun time sending letters out to our students. And I know I've sent a couple of emails and messages through a VSO, so hopefully that has been helpful. Does anybody have questions? Let's see, apply to CCCC before completing the scholarship? Nope, most of these, that's a great question, sort of about the order of operations. I have things listed in that checklist 1 through 7. They're not necessarily in any kind of order. So if you're a student, if you want to work on your admissions application and then jump back to the scholarship application, that is not a problem. I think I've got it set up. If you guys can still see this. Friend gave you the information. Awesome. We like when friends are sharing information. So if you are still seeing this, this is our website. Again, it's just cccc.edu/promise. This should match most of the information that I shared with you guys this evening. It does have the Zoom sessions for the next couple nights. There is a session from last year that we'll probably take down and replace with one of the sessions from this week. But it reviews, again, the eligibility requirements, the documents and stuff that must be submitted. And then again, I mentioned something about the second year of the program. If you stay with us, there's a couple other steps. So there's a ton of links here. If you go to the website, that interest form is the #1 piece that we're looking for. Super accessible. Go ahead and click. It's a Google form. And then the scholarship application, FAFSA, so on and so forth. There should be a lot of really clickable, interactive things on the website here for you. So I'm not seeing too many questions, which either means that I did a really good job or I just talked way too much too fast, which I sometimes do, and I've overwhelmed everyone. So hopefully this made sense. We did have an administrator. I had one of our VPs pop in, Mr. Byington, Associate Vice President Byington. Is there anything that you'd like to add to the presentation? I'm going to put you on the spot. And if not, that's okay.
No, I thought it was very good. I'm glad you all came in tonight to hear about this.
Awesome. We are really excited to have you. Again, hopefully folks are familiar with CCCC and the Career and College Promise program. Hopefully you've been taking advantage of that at your high school. If not, if you're still interested, we believe it or not, have questions that still, or excuse me, not questions. We have classes that begin next week if students are interested, and then we do have a summer session. So it is by no means too late to get involved in that if you would like. But that Career and College Promise should help sort of segue very naturally into the Central Carolina Promise or K14 program. So I am going to stay on the line. I know I've got one question that I want to go back to. If y'all do not have questions, then you are more than welcome to log out and enjoy the rest of your evening. We are very, very grateful for your time and attention. Please reach out if you have questions or need any kind of more information. I will be happy to do that for you, okay? Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.